just as I try to do weekly, is just going over the brainstorming process for the Substack, the weekly Substack. And for this week, the general idea is to talk about like comparisons for like valuing companies, or like determining like the fair if a company is at fair value. And certainly comp valuations are, it's not perfect, and certainly it's especially depending on the industry, it tends uh, to to create like self-fulfilling prophecies, or you tend to potentially pay a bit of a premium, especially in uh, market cycles such as to some degree this one. But certainly with the say Roblox being valued at I think like 30 billion, and trading at 45 times, a bit over 45 times sales, which is higher than Tesla, and certainly a lot of those are Snowflake, or those high flyers. And then you look at like say like active like a Take Two, or like Ubisoft, which I believe have higher revenue. So it seems like it's not a perfect analogy, because Roblox is, one could argue, it's a platform, but certainly it's certainly warrants a deeper dive into it. But certainly the dynamics of that are a bit, yeah, it's a bit fungible. But certainly I certainly think that regardless of how you feel about Roblox, or like more traditional game publishers or companies, that certainly odds are somewhere you feel that there's some mispricing with one of them, whether it's on Roblox's end being overvalued, the traditional game publishers being undervalued, or maybe they're all overvalued, maybe they're all undervalued. Uh, but certainly, either way you look at it, I think that there's room for, yeah, you have a take on it. And another example that stood out to me was with Coinbase, the crypto. I don't want to say exchange. I don't. I feel like I'm not sure if that's the correct term. But with Coinbase getting $100 billion valuation, and this, and again, I should say all of this is before Roblox's direct listing. Uh, so, but direct listing, so its market cap shouldn't be as, it'll probably still appreciate on today when it comes out in about 82 minutes. But Coinbase is, I'm not sure if I believe I'm not sure. I it's important due diligence. Let's find out. Oh, Coinbase is direct listing, but so both of them are direct listing. And I mean, Coinbase, to get back to the point, Coinbase has a valuation privately of 100 billion, and I mean Goldman Sachs is at GS is 116 billion about. Let's see if HSBC. Let's just compare 100 billion to. Can't help but feel that HSBC. Okay, 126. Wells Fargo. Yeah, Wells Fargo. Okay, so I mean, arguably, of course, that says more about the nature of Goldman Sachs, and how it's more of a pure play investment bank than a bank. Although that is changing with Marcus and columns that Mr. Solomon and company have been doing. But certainly, again, like Goldman Sachs versus Coinbase with 1 billion in revenue, and of course Coinbase is like has like I think 30% like operating margins, or profit, and like they are profitable. But certainly it's not the perfect analogous comp, but nevertheless, it's still interesting. And I think so. And again, I think that so out of what I think in Coinbase, I could make a larger argument about crypto, or like not argument, but commentary or a talking point. But I mean, but yeah, but back to yeah, but I think like with Goldman and Goldman and Coinbase, like so I think like it leads to some again like odds are you have some opinion on like which one of them is undervalued, overvalued. And I think that reveals larger narratives about how you see crypto, how you see traditional banking, how you see like finance and banking being disrupted by new players. And I think all that, uh, I think all that's it's if Roblox, and I think that it's not as transformative, but I'd say that if you're uh, like if you're very bullish on Roblox, I'd imagine that you're also very bullish on say Facebook because they're both platform entities um, that control their ecosystem. So that's certainly um, and maybe that's my bias because certainly like personally I feel that um, I try to stay apart from the so investing I'm certainly just the 18-year-old freshman who just has a Wharton to smack on his LinkedIn profile. But I just don't think that investing certainly is that as abstract and pretentious as this may come off. Probably it is kind of, but it is ultimately about ideas, right? Because like when you choose to purchase stock in a company, you are admittedly in a very small way, but you are contributing to that share price appreciating. And the point of the stock market is to raise capital. And you can raise capital when your stock price is elevated. It's it's and so certainly like by doing that you're contributing to yeah, then therefore then you can choose to directly contribute to the ideas and individuals and causes that and of course in a for-profit manner generally, but you can do that, and to me that's it's quite interesting and and certainly as part of that, then I think that investing is much more so about ideas generally. So just as like, do you believe in like the power of platforms, or are you more of an operator, or like or just very those aren't the best examples. I still don't think that investing is home to much of is for a much broader set of ideas, especially given nowadays where you can have establish yourself like beta by just buying like an ETF and like a diverse and like VT or SPY or just buying like SP 500 ETF, buying like an international ETF, and then that means like so you have like enough to like that essentially over a long enough period you will appreciate. And so from that baseline, then you can if your personal like if you choose to invest in individual companies, then at that point, then odds are like some companies interest you more than others. And I know like me personally, I'm not all that interested in reading the 10K for ExxonMobil or for like a legacy automaker because that doesn't interest me, and they don't quite fit into my worldview or what I find intriguing. But reading say like uh, JP Morgan's any of these of the banks, reading one of their investor presentations is interesting because they do so much. You're reading Tencent's investor presentations. It's interesting because they do so much, and certainly they do vibrant, dynamic things. And it's not just the big companies. I certainly find like some like smaller like VC ventures to be interesting because and certainly I think that and so naturally I think that that'd be for another more of like a traditional video on the channel, but certainly having that well but certainly having like some guideposts essentially to help guide you along. Um, like you're investing is certainly like make sure that you you stick to your circle of competencies, but also that it's more interesting in that you allocate your hard-earned dollars or Benjamins, as I refer to them, because I only work with so many dominations. No Harriet Tubman, or I guess Andrew Jackson. Usage on a daily for me. But real quickly then, I suppose like because we've talked about two companies, or four companies, but two like just juxtaposing them. Uh, whereas Creator, uh, Roblox, Roblox and Coinbase. Roblox and Coinbase revealed mispricing. No, I don't want to make a claim that they're causing mispricing because that's a bit technical. Or Roblox and Coinbase. Valuation wars. I did not misspell that. You did not see it. There we go. I like that. I actually like that. I think part of this is like my self-aggrandizement by seeing the gimmicky and the cliched writing that I do. Uh, I again, yeah, welcome to my self-aggrandizement vanity project, ensuring that my bad ideas stick around forever. At least as of the current moment. Who knows if YouTube changes their video hosting policies. But I'm sure that video compression technology will remain ahead of its time. Direct listing, let's talk about the companies. The other side, we'll talk about, like in Roblox's case, the more traditional game publishers and companies, and for Coinbase, traditional. No, I say traditional, but it's not like Coinbase. I think that you could make an argument that Stripe is a competitor. It's operating in the same space, minus of course the crypto veneer. And not veneer in a bad way, or like in that Coinbase is inauthentic, but Coinbase, the other side. I don't think I want to really talk about crypto too much. I don't find crypto to be that interesting. I think that crypto it's I should watch what I say. I don't want to I don't want to anger any crypto bulls. And I mean, I'm a bit I don't mind, like I do find it humorous to see people dunk on crypto uh, bulls or shills or whichever brand, because it is because certainly I think that because I do think that a lot of crypto people take themselves too seriously, because I don't believe that like they did like a DCF really to or any, because you sort of can't to project of like what have a price target. I think that the core concept of it being a store of value. I mean, yeah, sure. So I understand that. I don't think that. I think that there are some like red flags, but certainly the core idea so it's just supply and demand. But when they say it's uncorrelated, I mean, if something spooks people, people pull out. Then I mean, it's a cascading. And but I mean, like if they're right, then like they'll be quite profitable and be happy. But if they're so, then why should they be so defensive? It just shows insecurity. And then I think that just overall ethos of crypto people is a bit hypocritical. It's just talking about like these like at least with Bitcoin and like Litecoin. I was lucky enough to go to a college event where Charlie Lee spoke, and I just think that, but Litecoin they're actually trying to be like for some transactional network purpose. Ethereum, but but you don't see people like Ethereum actually has use cases in it. I'm sure you're not the most well versed in it, but certainly like Bitcoin is where people come out the woodwork no, I don't want to say shill, but be overly boastful and uh, I think it's a bit ironic for people to cite as part of the reason like with Bitcoin like the decentralization of finance or privacy or but then they cheer when like J.P. Morgan or Bank of America uh, put out like a statement saying that it can be 100,000 a coin. It's very inauthentic and it's just financial appreciation. They're just in it at this point just for financial gain, and I mean at that point then just lose the veneer. And if it's just for financial gain, then hopefully you've modeled just on a Google spreadsheet or Excel spreadsheet, of course. Uh, just really quickly, like what happens if your stake goes down by X amount, and just to model. And I think that there's a bit of a lack of risk management. But dark listing, the other side, uh, narratives spinning. And this might be a shorter one because I think like these body parts will actually be a bit chunky. Um, dark listing, the other side, narrative spinning. Conclusion. What is a snippy conclusion? Snippy. Alright, there we go. There it is. Dark listing. Yeah, there we go. Grass is greener. Roblox, Coinbase, our valuation, Roris. Forgive me. I did my AP Psych fails. My AP Psychology has failed me. And speaking of which, I have some Psych lectures to. I'm horribly behind on classes. But we have direct listing to talk about the two companies, the other side to talk about like this. Actually, I can make a Squidward meme for this. Narrative spinning because it's certainly like if there's mispricing or mispricing, then certainly that's part of a narrative that the market as a whole is taking, and investing equal stories as I certainly pretentiously articulated, and as I will articulate once again in text. So certainly that's the outline for this week's Substack. Hey, thanks for watching, and continue to be safe.